and they found that the baby was had passed away. We are human beings caring for other human beings.
Who create the changes of the time? Who create the visions of your mind? The visions of your mind.
First off, I'm going to say it's due to systemic racism, systemic bias, prejudice. I'm not talking specifically my own trust, but nationally throughout the NHS, there has to be a reason why. Those statistics are not numbers that they have been plucked out of thin air. It's showing us an ugly truth that there are serious issues going on within the healthcare settings and within the healthcare that is being provided to Black women. But I would say that's probably the number one reason: systemic racism, bias, prejudice, language barriers as well. We need to think about culturally ensuring if our women are not able to understand what the healthcare provider's saying. Something very simple, there might be a miscommunication. For instance, if you're telling a woman that she needs to come into the hospital because XYZ, if there's a language barrier, she might not understand that, and that woman may sit at home thinking everything's absolutely fine when something is actually not right with herself or her unborn child. So it's important that we look out for the women who are vulnerable in terms of language, culture as well. So I would say those are the two main reasons. When I say systemic racism, so for example, if you look at the healthcare professionals that are on the shop floors, so you've got midwives. I work in a diverse hospital trust, which I'm very thankful for. Many of us are Black and brown or European. We come from different countries all around the world. If you go higher up the hierarchy in the hospital, in hospitals around the country, you might not see as many people who look like me higher up in directors. Luckily, in my own hospital, we have managers, Black women, directors, managers, team leaders, which is really inspiring. But in general, as you go higher up the hierarchy, you might not see Black women or Black men. That goes for many professions, not just midwifery or healthcare. Systemic racism. If I go back, like say 19th century, there was the notion that Black women feel less pain. And there have been studies done more recently, I'm not too sure about in the UK, but in America, where they've asked people about their what they feel about Black people's pain thresholds. And they actually think that Black people can tolerate more pain than our white counterparts. How that makes sense is each their own opinion. However, we know that person who was doing anesthetic trials on Black women, enslaved Black women, back in the 19th century, it obviously wasn't true, but those notions have been passed down. So where I say bias and prejudice and racism, we hear the term that Black women are strong. Now, it's all well and good that being a compliment, but when it comes to healthcare, if you say, oh yeah, Black women are strong, oh, she doesn't need pain relief, she's fine, she's saying that she's in pain, but actually early labor, she's fine. We must listen to what these women are telling us, regardless of their skin color, regardless of their age, gender, assignment, disability. We must treat everyone equal. Labor is a tough time on a woman's body, and if a woman says she's in pain, we have to listen to her and understand and help her with that pain if she wants help. So that's where my think my opinion of systemic racism, bias, prejudice comes from. I believe conversations need to be had 100%. We need to be real. We need to be honest. The people who work higher up, the directors of the hospitals where they're having incidents regarding black and brown women, black women more specifically, conversations need to be had. You know, we shouldn't be afraid to have a conversation about racism in healthcare. People will disagree and say, oh, I'm not racist, but it's okay to say you're not a racist, but you need to be anti-racist. You need to be against racism, point blank, period. And we need to have conversations and understand where, you know, someone might say something and they feel, oh, that's not racist, but what you actually said was a microaggression. It wasn't acceptable what you said to that black woman. You need to listen to black patients as well. I think one of the things with our people is that we feel that we might not get taken as seriously with healthcare. That's in general. GPs, when you go to your GP, you know, you feel rushed. They're not listening to what they tell you. It's so important, especially in pregnancy, that you feel you have time as a patient to sit down and speak to your midwife or your obstetrician. So yeah, we need to be listening to our patients. We need to understand what are the issues. Why do women feel like they can't raise their concerns to the healthcare professionals? They sit back and let it might be health concerns fester, and then until the last minute when things can't be reversed. So definitely conversations need to be had. We can't be covering up with guidelines. The NICE guidelines came out last year regarding induction of labor for women who are 39 weeks pregnant. Because of the statistics regarding black women, they've created that guideline. I've said it before, I feel like that's just trying to paper over the crack. Just take apart the foundation and why is that the statistic? We need to sit down and look at it. So that's what they need to start doing.